Pinfall rule. The most common way to win a WWE match is by pinfall. To score a pin, both of your opponent's shoulders must stay on the mat while the referee counts to 3. If either shoulder comes up before the third count, the match continues. That sounds simple, but it's produced some of the greatest moments in WWE history. At WrestleMania 25, Shawn Michaels hit Sweet Chin music on The Undertaker, and for a split second, everyone thought the streak was over. The referee counted 1, 2, but somehow, Undertaker kicked out. The entire stadium erupted. Today, superstars like Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins have all survived impossible pin attempts. Sometimes, the difference between victory and defeat is lifting one shoulder by just an inch. But what happens when your opponent refuses to stay down? Submission rule. Instead of pinning your opponent, you can force them to quit. A submission victory happens when a wrestler taps out or verbally submits while trapped in a painful hold. Some of WWE's greatest technical wrestlers became legends because of submissions. Bret Hart's sharpshooter, Kurt Angle's ankle lock, John Cena's STF, and Charlotte Flair's figure 8 have forced countless opponents to surrender. The suspense is completely different from a pinfall. Every second inside a submission hold builds tension as fans wonder whether the wrestler can escape, or if they'll finally tap out. And sometimes, there's only one thing that can save them. Rope break rule. Those ring ropes aren't just there to surround the ring. They're one of the most important safety rules in WWE. If a wrestler grabs any rope during a pinfall or submission attempt, the referee immediately orders the hold to be broken. This is called a rope break. You've probably seen wrestlers stretching every muscle in their body just to touch the bottom rope with one fingertip. That tiny moment has saved championships and changed careers. But don't get too comfortable. Because once both superstars leave the ring, those ropes can't help you anymore. No disqualification rule. This is where things get wild. In a no disqualification match, almost anything is legal. Steel chairs, kendo sticks, tables, ladders, trash cans. Even outside interference is usually allowed. Legends like Triple H, Edge, Mick Foley, and The Undertaker built their reputations in these brutal matches because there were almost no limits. But here's what many new fans don't realize. Even though weapons are legal, you still have to win by pinfall or submission unless the match has another special stipulation. No rules, but the same objective. And that's why no DQ matches often produce some of WWE's most unforgettable moments. But what if you didn't even have to stay inside the ring to win? Countout rule. The moment both wrestlers leave the ring, the referee begins counting. 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10. If neither wrestler returns before the count reaches 10, the match ends in a countout. Here's the twist. In a championship match, the champion usually keeps the title, because championships don't change hands by countout. That's why some champions have intentionally stayed outside the ring to escape with their championship. Smart? Absolutely. Popular with the fans? Not even close. But if you think that's unfair, wait until you hear what happens when a superstar breaks the rules on purpose. Disqualification, DQ, rule. Normally, WWE has strict rules. Using a steel chair, attacking the referee, or getting outside help can all lead to a disqualification. If that happens, your opponent wins immediately. But here's the catch. If the champion gets disqualified, they lose the match, but they still keep the championship. This rule has saved countless title reigns and made fans furious for decades. So what happens when WWE removes disqualifications completely? That's where things get really dangerous. No disqualification rule. This is where things get wild. In a no disqualification match, almost anything is legal. Steel chairs, kendo sticks, tables, ladders, trash cans. Even outside interference is usually allowed. Legends like Triple H, Edge, Mick Foley, and The Undertaker built their reputations in these brutal matches because there were almost no limits. But here's what many new fans don't realize. Even though weapons are legal, you still have to win by pinfall or submission unless the match has another special stipulation. No rules, but the same objective. And that's why no DQ matches often produce some of WWE's most unforgettable moments. But what if you didn't even have to stay inside the ring to win? Falls count anywhere rule. Normally, a pinfall only counts inside the ring. Not anymore. In a falls count anywhere match, you can win almost anywhere in the arena. Inside the ring. Backstage. In the crowd. On the entrance stage. Even in the parking lot. As long as the referee is there to count the pin or witness the submission, it's completely legal. Some of WWE's craziest brawls have happened under this rule because the entire arena becomes the battlefield. 1 minute the action is in the ring. The next minute, the superstars are fighting near the merchandise stand. And just when you think you've seen everything, one forgotten rule can still stop the match before anyone wins. Time limit rule. Today, WWE rarely uses time limits in regular matches. But for many years, they were a huge part of professional wrestling. Championship matches could have a 15, 30, or even 60-minute time limit. If nobody won before time expired, the match ended in a time limit draw. No winner, no loser. And if it was a championship match, the champion kept the title. Imagine hitting your finishing move with only 3 seconds left. Only for the bell to ring before the referee reaches 3. Sometimes, the clock can be just as dangerous as your opponent. But even time isn't always the final decision. Because one person inside the ring has even more power. Referee's decision rule. The referee isn't just there to count to 3. Inside the ring, the referee's decision is final. If they see an illegal weapon, they can disqualify a wrestler. If they see a tap out, the match is over. If they count to 3, the decision stands. But if they don't see someone cheating, the match continues. That's why so many WWE superstars distract the referee before breaking the rules. One of the most controversial examples happened at the 1997 Survivor Series in the infamous Montreal Screwjob. Bret Hart never tapped out to Shawn Michaels' sharpshooter. Yet the referee rang the bell anyway after being ordered to do so, ending the match and changing wrestling history forever. It proved one thing. Sometimes, the referee has more power than the wrestlers themselves.